Yeah, Gianna, this has probably been President Trump's most eventful trip to Mar-a-Lago since taking office, not because of what he did here locally while on his trip. Things are all quiet here at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion, but when it comes to the investigation into his suicide, it's been all over the place. It seems like there's an update every hour. One thing that hasn't changed, though, is how his accusers feel about him and the others involved in their sexual abuse case. Here in downtown West Palm Beach, Olive Street and Clematis, if you've driven down at this part of Clematis, you've seen this a lot. Construction, road blocked off. And you're probably thinking like, oh my goodness, when in the world is Clematis Street going to open back up at this part near Olive Street? Well, that answer is tonight. Here on the banks of the Indian River, the conditions are not as bad as they were last night, but look, people come from all over to enjoy the view here at this seawall, but they say over time, the earth around the seawall has just eroded away to the point where I can barely get this 5-foot pole to the bottom of this hole. They say it is extremely dangerous. Well, we've been here for about 15 minutes and it's gotten worse and worse just in the short amount of time that we've been here. The waves are growing stronger. We actually saw people out there in these waves trying to surf. Yeah, once again, Dade County has turned into Wade County, man. Dwayne Wade, so ingrained here, forever ingrained in the South Florida culture. He's given so much to this community, and this weekend, the community gets to say thank you. Yeah, Tiffany, this all started yesterday, and we've seen a steady flow of people since we've been here, drive up, just asking, can we get home? Can we get home? And the answer right now is not yet. Florida City Gas still trying to contain this gas leak. Like I said, you're missing it. We missed you. Well, we're going to hold it down for you. And coming up here in about 15 minutes or so, I got a chance to talk to a family who had just sit down for the game from Kansas City. They could not believe their eyes. We're going to have that coming up for you in about 15 minutes. Yeah, Todd and Felicia, many people are still struggling financially, so the thought of losing their job is something nobody wants to think about. However, if you're someone who just refuses to get the vaccine, you may be surprised your employer can actually require it. As positive COVID-19 cases continue to grow in the U.S., skepticism about a coronavirus vaccine also continues to grow. I'd have to think about it.
As of now, I probably would take it.
I probably wouldn't take it.
According to a Stat Harris poll in mid-August, 69% of Americans said they'd get a COVID-19 vaccine as soon as it's available. That number dropped to 58% in mid-October.
I really don't trust vaccines personally.
But Nick here, along with other Americans against getting vaccinated, might have a big problem on their hands if businesses and employers require employees to get an FDA-approved COVID-19 vaccine.
So the background in Florida, it's a legal term called employment at will. Normally, employees in Florida do not have any legal rights unless they're a member of a union or have a contract, which most people do not have.
Boynton Beach attorney William Julian says with Florida being an at-will state, an employer can dismiss an employee for almost any reason, including not being vaccinated.
Most people are going to find out when they talk to a lawyer. There's not much they can do about it.
The only exception, Julian says, would be for employees with certain medical conditions or religious beliefs, which they'd have to prove.
So this is a way of protecting people so you're not inadvertently putting people in harm's way. So I think that is a general obligation.
Denise Russo is a professor of organizational behavior and public policy at Carnegie Mellon University and says it's generally an employer's duty to ensure the safety of its workers.
It's what a supportive, responsible employer would do to protect both the workforce and the people who come in contact with its employees, to require vaccinations.
They can say, hey, the COVID-19 is too much of a serious threat to our workforce. If you're not vaccinated, they could terminate them.
Well, then I would just hand in my notice and say, well, then if you're going to fire me, then fire me now.
I'd be looking for a job.
Adding even more turbulence to a journey through a pandemic that seems to be far from over.
It's my life. It's my body. I have I have the decision.
Have you ever looked at the ocean and just been fascinated by what you see? The mystique and mystery beyond the waves.
Today's a beautiful day. It would be a great day for kayaking today.
Christine Nicometti does when she kayaks.
You see dolphin, you see manatee.
But a few months ago on one of those kayaking trips,
I saw the bottle sitting there. It was a loon, so I was like, yeah, I see bottles every single day.
But this bottle, washed up on the beach near the Port St. Lucie Inlet, was different.
I saw there was something inside of it, and I was like, I think it's a note.
A message in a bottle.
I open it up and it's in Italian.
It was a cursive, handwritten note in Italian. A friend of a friend translated it.
Hello, my love. I am reassigning you to these waters with the hope that you may return to the maternal womb. Let the waters rock you.
Accarezzare dal vento, the wind caress you. So it's very nice.
We showed the letter to Dr. Ilaria Serra, an associate professor of Italian studies at Florida Atlantic University in Boca.
But it was a love poem and a very beautiful one.
May the light shine on you. You are Giulio Pisano. You are now free.
The note mentions Giulio D.D. Pisano, a common last name in Italy. Dr. Serra believes it was written by Pisano's wife after he just passed away.
It looks like she wrote it on a notebook, maybe before letting the ashes go, maybe from a pier.
She says she doesn't think the writer was very religious. Italy is mostly a Catholic country, spreading ashes at sea against Catholic doctrine. Also, even with the letter written so beautifully, there's no mention of God.
Risplendi nella luce. She says eternity and she says light. So these are the two attributes that we could give to God, but she never expresses it.
And while the message is in Italian, there's nothing on the bottle to tell where it's from. The question is it even possible the bottle somehow floated over 5,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean?
It's absolutely possible.
Brock Dunlap is an ocean engineering grad student at FAU and says ocean currents could have sent the message to Florida.
It's possible that it could be about 2 years if you take the distance and divide it by the average velocity for each current.
I'll meet you again in the infinity of my memories of a past life. May the light shine on you.
So I think she was just giving him permission to go in a way, and keeping the positive with her. It's a very nice closure to a life.
It's a message shrouded in mystery, an enigma of the ocean, with a final goodbye inside.
Onde, abbracciare dall'azzurro, accarezzare dal vento, ti ritroverò nell'infinito.
Thank you for the gift you left me, our daughter. Proud to have been your companion for eternity, Meffy and Elena. I get chill bumps.
Yeah, if you know anything about cancer treatment, it can be extremely draining. Today's fundraiser was for a young girl I met who is as strong as any young girl I've ever met before, but she has hope on her side. In this room at the Elks Lodge in Port St. Lucie, you can see a lot. Candy, balloons, popcorn, cake, but you have no idea what it means for Lexi Dean's family and friends to see this. Her smile.
It's rough to watch her go through her battles and her struggles and her surgeries and, you know, bad news after bad news.
Diagnosed with a rare cancer, metastatic osteosarcoma last year, 12-year-old Lexi has had to endure multiple surgeries, dozens of rounds of chemotherapy. Still, the cancer spreading from her leg to her lungs.
Her spirits, they keep me going every single day.
Those spirits kept high with the help of hope.
She's just awesome, and she's like funny like me, and we kind of are the same. People sometimes ask us if we're twins.
Yes, that's Hope, Lexi's best friend who's been by her bedside through it all. Sunday's fundraiser, just one of many acts of love Hope has come up with, just to see her friend beat cancer's butt.
It's very special, even because she cut her hair for me. When I first shaved my head because I had to, she went to the barber or the haircut place right after I did and got her hair cut just for me.
Two friends that likely didn't know exactly what cancer was, what it did, who it hurt, are giving the deadly disease the fight of their young lives.
It's been easier with her by my side because she's over here helping me and making me feel better when I'm not feeling great.
Hope is an exceptional young lady. She is probably the most selfless little girl I have ever seen when it comes to her best friend, Lexi. Till 12 o'clock at night, if knowing Lexi's sick, she's painting her face with ice cream and colorful things just to make Lexi smile.
It's true, cancer doesn't care who it chooses to attack. Doctors do what they can, but the best medicine just may be the unconditional love of a true friend, happiness, and hope.
People are actually supporting her and like raising money for her because she needs her medicines and all that stuff.
Now that she's doing all these fundraisers, paintings, and tie-dye shirts for me, it's actually really special.
Now, doctors say Lexi still has a very long road ahead. She's trying a new treatment, a special cocktail of chemotherapy drugs made especially for her. A GoFundMe set up for Lexi has raised over $13,000. Now, if you'd like to help out, you can click on this story at WPBF.com. We're live tonight. Shayne Wright, WPBF 25 News.